I've been playing Star Wars The Old Republic since 2012, so when I talk about this, I'm talking from a place of good experience. Needless to say, I've experienced every single high and low of this MMO's life. From the glory days of the Rise of the Hutt Cartel and Shadow of Revan to the very controversial Eternal Throne expansion. If you've been interested in this game for the last couple of years but haven't checked it out, that's probably because you've been met with a lot of videos that all said the same thing. The game is dead. Mobile games are kept up better than this MMO, so on and so forth. And to be 100% transparent, I have been making videos criticizing this game and the developers since 2015. In fact, the last major video I made criticizing the direction of the game was last year. That did fairly well. Granted, it was more of an emotional reaction to what was happening in the game at the time, but my sentiment on this game as a whole has changed since then. And that's why I think that everyone should be playing Star Wars The Old Republic right now, and going into 2024. Because at its core, we all genuinely know that it's a great MMO, but I'm gonna tell you why. Let's start off with the fact that this is really the only game in the Star Wars universe that literally allows you to be whoever you want to be. One of the biggest problems I've had with the Disney era of Star Wars and the games coming out since the acquisition was games that were being made with the preset of a character, Jedi Fallen Order, with preset decisions, the story you didn't really interact with at all, and you couldn't really affect the outcome in the way that, in my opinion, really mattered. At least not nearly in the level that Star Wars The Old Republic has been able to do. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different ways you can affect your character's story. If you don't believe me, guys, just look at my character screen. I used to have twice as many characters as this across all servers. I've done each class story more than 5 times, and I've enjoyed listening to the different dialogues and seeing the various consequences of my actions through various choices. You're not going to get that type of experience in any other MMO, let alone any other Star Wars game. This provides you with thousands of hours of replayable story content and ways to keep things fresh. Whenever I look at new games to play, I'm always looking at a few things. One, the character customizations and how much I can individualize myself from the rest of the population. If it doesn't meet that criteria, I'm generally not interested in the game. Star Wars The Old Republic has done one of the best jobs in the MMO scene at making your character really all about you and the level of customization that it has. Now I know ESO has a bus slider, but like, come on, you can't win them all. The next thing is content. And as a whole, this MMO is second to none. While there hasn't really been a big expansion for quite some time, there is still plenty of missions and items to collect well beyond the main class story. You're not going to get bored of getting your reputation up with various factions, doing secret missions to get rare items and different places to find objects that really have you taken in the whole Star Wars universe as you travel across the galaxy. This is something that a lot of people really have taken for granted in this game, myself included. There aren't many MMOs that have a more beautiful, expansive atmosphere that the base planets do in this game. After you've done every side quest in the game, there are still things to do. If you want to fight other players, then PvP is the way to go. I've often said that Star Wars The Old Republic PvP is some of the best PvP around for MMOs, and I still think that to this day. Sadly, last year, BioWare decided to remove the ranked PvP option from the game. At the time, guys, I was a PvP main. My channel was literally built on making PvP content. It's what I'm known for, and I was extremely upset when they decided to go this route, and I briefly considered quitting. But then I honestly took a step back and thought about what was happening. The ranked scene was not only small, but it was getting toxic, and it didn't make it fun if you were a new player or just trying to learn, which is something that I really wanted to push on my channel. Longtime viewers of my channel might be surprised at this seemingly different perspective from years past, and I think that's because of one thing. I've just grown up. I have other things to do, and a game can't be my all-consuming passion. If PvP isn't your cup of tea, then there are dozens of flashpoints, uprisings, and operations to partake in, though you'll need a guild for the most part for completing any of the operations. Flashpoints are basically dungeons, but provide good story for most of them and can drop decorations for your stronghold if that's something you're interested in doing. I personally want to get back to raiding and doing more PvE content and just overall every single thing in the game, things that will be more challenging. You'll find operations in Star Wars very rewarding, challenging, and just overall fun. Some of my fondest memories are from trying to complete various raids throughout the game. The next point is probably the most important that I want to talk about here, and that's the community of SWTOR. I've said this in a previous video, but what you need to know about SWTOR is that this is a game that was made for Star Wars fans first and MMO fans second. If you love Star Wars, then you will love this game. The love of pre-Disney era Star Wars is honestly what keeps this game going. While YouTube content for this game seems bleak, there's plenty of streamers who play this game daily and do a variety variety of different activities. The game's biggest content creator, SWTOR, literally streams every single day. So if you're looking to get help or learn about the game, her channel is a one-stop shop for all new players. The reality is, most people streaming this game are just looking to have fun and enjoy the only Star Wars game that has had lasting meaning, at least for the last decade or so. It didn't always used to be that way. I'm able to admit that I was part of the problem. I used to make video after video on the fall of SWTOR and all of the troubles that the game was facing. And to be honest, I still stand by some of those videos. But the reality that nobody wants to hear is that this game isn't going away anytime soon. Sure, the game won't be able to compete with WoW or Final Fantasy XIV, but it doesn't need to, and I don't think it wants to. It doesn't need to be top 3 in the MMO charts for it to be considered a living game. The population and the community is healthy for a game of its age. While its massive content releases are presumably behind us, that doesn't mean that the best community and experiences are gone. I have been playing this game with my wife, and I've had a lot more fun showing her how to play the game than I've had doing anything else recently. Who knows, maybe she'll even get to max level and want to do endgame activities like raids. If I had to think about what was really holding SWTOR back right now, it's the videos and content being made around it. Nobody is going to want to play this game if they're bombarded with funeral videos and rants about the game. The content creators themselves don't really play that much anymore. And believe me, I get it. If you're not having fun, don't play the game and move on. But I think people took this game too seriously for too long, and it's definitely soured a lot of people. This includes me and my time playing the game. I've been playing since launch, but I have had a change in perspective, and since that change, the game feels alive and well. Not only because it's felt that way, but because it's actually true. People want to play, and people are having fun. Now I will say, I know a lot of you like playing the game solo, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just ignore all the videos I made about solo players ruining the game, okay cool. But I'd encourage you to play with other people. There is nothing more enjoyable in this game than getting home after a long day of work and hanging out with your guild doing various things around the galaxy. You can always play solo when they jump off for the night anyway. A lot of people I've been seeing in the comment sections of various Star Wars The Old Republic videos are saying that they use this primarily as a solo player RPG experience. And as I just said, there's nothing wrong with that, but I really feel like you guys are missing out on the joys of this game when experienced with a good group of people. There are guilds out there that are still running things daily and weekly. I've been in a part of them, and there's always guilds recruiting. It just might take some time for you to figure out which one is the best fit for you and which one is active enough to meet your needs. Star Wars The Old Republic is an easy game to get into, and anything challenging doesn't really show up until the end game. While I don't really like how everything is soloable now, it does make it easier for newer players to get involved into the game, and overall, I think that's a good thing. So I hope I've done a decent job of convincing you to give Star Wars a try. Don't be discouraged by the videos on YouTube. You need to be able to judge for yourself, and I think you'll be surprised just how at home you'll feel in a galaxy far, far away. If you found this video helpful or enjoyable, consider subscribing. I make videos on Star Wars The Old Republic as a hobby, so I upload as I can. I stream with my wife as much as possible, and I would love to have you and hang out in the comments section so we can just keep enjoying this game together. I genuinely hope this game is around for another 10 years, and I kind of think it will be. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section, and I will see you guys in the next one.